Thank you, Christos, for that kind introduction, and thank you for the seat. I think actually I usually stand up, but I think I will sit down here. And I heard this morning when we came, the theme of this whole event is getting new things done, and I think this is a good example of actually trying to get new things done. And we've also heard about the importance of collaboration, and this has been a collaborative project together with Skanska and ABB, and I'm very sure that these things cannot be done without collaboration between players in the industry. And you can see the prototype we have here to the right. It regards building rebar cages with robots, and I'll show you some slides about that. So it's rebar cages for concrete structures. And when we started the project, I mean, the real question was, why should we do this? And I took that picture myself from one of our projects outside Stockholm, and I think it's rather embarrassing to see what it looks like when it comes to rebar fixing on a construction site. There are no young people, there are no Swedish people, it's only men, and it's very difficult to get these persons into the sites. And today with sustainability, I mean, just flying them in doesn't really make sense with coming further and further away from Sweden. So health and safety, labor shortage, and then also efficiency. It's very important that we speed up this, and we choose rebar cages because it's always on the critical line in all our projects, and I think you know that from before. This is the setup. It's a gantry with 3 robots. So 2 robots are lifting the rebars, and a third one is coming, either fixing with welding, or we have a fixing tool that we have been using because we were not allowed to do welding in this facility that we had. If you then look at the difference between the automotive industry and construction is that we normally have very low volume. Maybe we want to manufacture a different cage every time. So it's a very high mix. You, of course, heard the word flexible automation, and this is really flexible automation, often one-off production, and that means unique robot movements then. So we actually don't have time to program the robots. We have to do it with a 3D model and calculate with the help of that. So this is what we do. We have a 3D model, and this is another good thing in construction because often the design is not ready. It's 80% ready or so. But if you're going to do automation with robots, the design must be 100% ready. Otherwise, the robots will not do what they should be doing. So our digital model, with the help of then, so all the information is in the digital model, and then we have algorithms that then automatically calculates the installation order, which is the really difficult one. How does the robot know, maybe it's 150 different rebars, how does the robot know which one to start with and which one to end with? So installation order has been a tricky one, and then you have the sequencing, what robot does what, and of course traditional path planning and collision control. So here I have a little film. This is what the cage looks like, and I hope this works. Yeah. And this is in our facility outside, or in Västerås, not outside Stockholm. It's a city by its own.
Västerås is so small, though it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So 2 robots are then lifting the rebar. And you can also see our 3D model that we have for verification to see that the robots are doing the same thing that we have in the 3D model. And there is the fixing tool, which is made for manual use, so it's actually bigger than it should be if we did one that was made for automation. What you also can see here are that there are some movements that are it's like the robots are dancing around. That's because they are trying to find the right path. This is a rather old film, some year old. So today we have optimized that movement. So there is no more dancing. They are going right to the target nowadays. What needs to be done in the future is automatic feeding. You cannot see it in the film, but it's actually a person lifting the rebar where they pick it up. But that is something that we're working on. Oh, there's even some elevator music in the background, I think.
I thought it was my phone.
No, it's in the it's in the film. So here you can see that dancing, and that's because the robots are trying to find their way. Yes, and then I have one question for the panel. That is, okay, now we've done this for rebar fixing. What would be another typical construction activity that should be automized?
Thank you very much. A great handover then to Ekaterina. Thank you all.
I'll sit down.